Time is an absolute quantity. This is the opinion of the vast majority of physicists. But can this knowledge be trusted? Are they reliable? Let's make an attempt to understand this confusing question. Since childhood, we have been accustomed to dividing hours into minutes, which in turn were divided into seconds. Months were folded into years and decades. It seems to us that around us there are houses, trees, cars, people, starry sky, and nothing else remarkable. But all this slowly and smoothly floats on the invisible, eternal river of time. But is it eternal? When will the end of time come, and what will happen after this unthinkable event? Many writers have tried to predict what might happen if the laws of time were stopped, slowed down, or reversed. A work called The Clock That Went Backwards by Edward Mitchell, based on which Hollywood made a movie about the unfortunate Benjamin Button, who was born an old man and died an infant, touches on the idea of what would happen if people could influence time. The theme was continued by H.G. Wells in his famous novel The Time Machine and the short story The New Age Accelerator. Obviously, nothing good came of it, since human knowledge of time is laughably minuscule. But even in the most daring dreams and fantasies, writers did not dare to stop time itself, but only created in their imagination machines traveling along the space-time continuum, or incredible drugs that dull the sense of time, and, in fact, deceive the brain. According to the ideas of classical physics, time flows uniformly and eternally. Only the motion of objects in the sense of their acceleration or deceleration changes. The time scale is represented as a coordinate axis with points moments. People during their short lives consistently pass from one point to another, and no one has ever managed to break the established order, except for unrestrained fantasizing fantasists. As for the laws of thermodynamics, they are very scrupulous in their defense of the directionality and orderliness of time. To exaggerate the issue, scientists imagine time as a bookcase that may one day collapse. If it is chaotically filled, it is not difficult to restore order. You just have to put the books back together. But if the books were distributed by color, the task becomes more complicated. If you add to this parameter size, year of publication, author's surname and the like, then folding the books will be a very difficult task. That is, if the temporal order is broken, according to fans of thermodynamics, it will be extremely difficult to restore it. But no more difficult than putting a like under this video. Time flowed long before the birth of the first star. It will float smoothly after the death of our galaxy. But what happens if it stops? Is it possible? We used to think that the universe, as well as time, is infinite. Pronouncing this word, people do not fully understand its meaning, because in our world, everything has an end and a beginning, and a person simply has nothing to compare this unimaginable concept with. Although one thing can give a remote understanding of finite infinity. Complicated. Actually, the example is extremely simple. It is a balloon. If we look for its boundaries, it is inherently meaningless. So, regarding boundedness, it is infinite, but at the same time, its area will always be finite. Perhaps the same is true of the space-time continuum. There is speculation about the freezing of time as an illustration of the last days of the universe. One of the theories of apocalypse says that perhaps time will stop and an endless series of moments will turn into a single one, frozen forever, as if in an old photo. It will last forever. Everything that was going to happen to you is bound to happen many times. There will be no old age, no death, just one infinite instant. From the human point of view, it will be like immortality contained in one time drop, which is eternal. The paradox is that man will not even realize that time has stopped. In the meantime, We can endlessly measure this not fully understood quantity because it is the only thing left for people, because time cannot be tasted, cannot be decomposed into atoms, cannot be studied under a microscope. We divide it into fragments, call them seconds, and imagine that nothing can surprise us anymore. This reminds us of the aplomb of a first grader who, having read the first syllable, thinks that he has already grasped the essence of things. Let's hope that mankind will become more and more erudite as time goes by, because how many incomprehensible and unimaginable things are yet to be learned. So be sure to support us by subscribing to the channel, because the future of the channel depends only on you.